Okay, so I think I'm going to start off with my face. I might put some BB cream on as it is a no makeup for makeup. So I'm just going to be using the Dr. Jar Water-Fused Beauty Balm for this. So this is a really light coverage, it's very dewy and it's great for no makeup as it doesn't cake on your face. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this, my beauty blender, and applying it to my under eyes. So generally I don't wear a lot of makeup if I'm honest. I probably wear a little bit, but on a day-to-day basis, if anything, I'll just wear BB cream if I feel like. On a day-to-day basis I normally just put on concealer under my eyes and blemishes. Don't really like to wear that much makeup. I like this beauty balm because it is just so dewy, which is great for springtime. And yeah, using this beauty blender gives it a really nice finish as well. It just makes it, you know, go on very smoothly, which I like about the beauty blenders. So next, I know this is a new makeup tutorial, but my face needs to have a bit of bronze to it. So for that, I'm going to be taking my Sleek Face Palm palette in light, and I'm going to be taking the contour shade from there just to go on the hollows of my cheeks, just to add some definition to my face. And I'm not using any fat brushes today because I've just cleaned my Real Technique ones. So I'm just going to be taking this one, I don't even know where it's from. I'm just going to apply this on my cheekbone, so it's here. I'm going to blend it in using a e.l.f. fluffy brush. Now the reason I'm not using Real Techniques in this video is for the purpose of you guys and not necessarily the only brushes out there. So I wanted to show the fact that there are other good brushes out there that you can all use. And then I'm just going to apply a bit more of that because at the moment it looks a bit like a line and that is not what we want. Okay, so that will do, I think. You don't want to forget to do your neckline, otherwise it'll look a bit odd, so I'm just going to apply a bit of this contour shade to my neck so it just blends in nicely. I actually think this is a foundation brush I'm using right now to blend this all in, and the reason I use a foundation brush to blend in my contour is because it has synthetic hairs, which means it's quite stiff and it doesn't move about too much, so you can really control where you're putting the contour shade. And using a flat foundation brush just means that when you apply it, it goes on flat and it will blend in flat instead of having a fluffy one where it just kind of blends in certain patches. This just makes the application of the contour a lot more even. I'm going to go and do the other side now. Make sure when you do this that you are actually putting it where your cheekbone is, so you don't put it like somewhere down here or something, not too high. Just make sure it's exactly where your cheekbone is. Like my ones are in different places, like that one's there, so. Yeah, I think there probably are better bronzers out there, high-end wise, but drugstore, this is probably the best you're going to get. Makes your face a bit bronzed up. And I'm going to do the same thing I did with my other side, and that was just to shade in the jawline a bit and then on the neck a bit, just so that it's not just one line. When you do this, you actually properly blend into your skin, otherwise you're going to be like that girl with that horrible like line down her face. No offence to anyone who does that, there's nothing wrong with doing it, but it's just not one of my preferences. So instead of using this, which is very precise, I'm now going to use the e.l.f., just an e.l.f. brush really, just to, using this, because the hairs are natural hairs, it just means that it won't be as precise and it will look a bit, you know, you don't want your forehead to have precise lines, you want it to be a bit blended in, so using this just allows me to blend in a bit better. You can totally miss out this bit if you want to, but for me, I like to add a bit of glowingness and a bit of bronzingness to my face. Now obviously you could add as much as you want or as little as you want. You don't have to follow this step by step, but this is just what I'm doing. Okay, that should be enough, I think. Now I'm going to move on to my eyebrows. So I'm just going to take one of these disposable lash eyebrow thingies, and I'm going to take my Rituals eyebrow pencil in dark brown, and I'm just going to quickly green them out like so. Now recently I've been liking to make my brows a bit more natural, and I just like to start them halfway and then blend using a brush into where the start of my eyebrows start. This is literally impossible. I'm sorry if I'm looking that way, it's just because that is where the mirror is. So as you can see, I actually have one eyebrow and one eyebrow not done. Then I'm just going to shape it a little bit. Literally, I find it so hard to get my eyebrows even. I swear this one's more arched than that one. And then the way I like to do it is take my pencil and I'll line it up at the end of my nose, and then I shall put it here, and that will determine how long I need to draw it. So I have to do it a little bit longer. I'd also like to use quite long strokes just to make the pencil look like actual hairs. I'm just going to blend it. Then I'm just going to put a bit more on, just to even out the shape a little bit. And then I'm just going to blend it out a bit more. And then what I like to do is I like to neaten up the underneath of my brows, and I will just take a cotton bud, and I normally tend to do is I'll just take some water and wet it and then go underneath my eyebrow. Okay, so that is my eyebrows done. Now moving on to eyes. I know it looks really weird because I have no eyeshadow or mascara on, but today I'm going to be using my Naked 2 palette, and I don't know, I was going to use Naked 3, but I just felt like a change today to what I usually do. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the brush that it comes with, and then we're going to be taking the colour Tease, which is a light brown colour, and I'm going to just apply this to my crease, but I'm going to make it a bit of a lower crease, so I'm just going to tap off the excess. Okay, so now I'm going to blend this into my crease. I'm going to take the colour Booty Call, which is a highlighting shade, and apply it to my inner tear duct. So then taking this flat shader brush, blend that in now. And then taking the colour Foxy, going to apply that on the lid of my eye. And in terms of eyeshadow, that is me done. So I'm going to do the other side now, and I'll get back to you at the end part. Okie dokie, so I've heated up my eyelash colours, and I'm just going to curl my lashes. Okay, that should be enough. And then taking my favourite mascara, which is the Stiletto Sumptuous Mascara. I'm just going to apply a thin coat of this to my top lashes. Mainly on the root of my eyelash to begin with, and then I can always build up length towards the end. Sorry if I look down at the awkward angle, it's just because I'm putting on my mascara. So you want to make sure your eyelashes are as separated as you can get them. So that's all I'm going to put on for the first layer, and now I'm moving on to the bottom lashes first before I go and do the top again. I genuinely love doing my bottom lashes. I don't get why some people don't do bottom and top, I just think it looks odd if you don't do that. But obviously we all have different preferences. So for me that is all I tend to put on for the first layer, and then I go in on the second coat, and yeah. I know some people are going to be like, oh, you have spider lashes. Parents, if you don't like it, then cool, you don't have to do it. It's just how I want to do them. So just keep that in mind. It's not worth stressing over. So this is what my eyelashes look after I've finished applying my mascara. So obviously some of you are going to think that a bit too much or too spidery. That's totally cool with me, it's your preference, but for me this is what I like, so just bear that in mind if you're going to comment something down below. But now I'm going to move on to my lips. So for this I'm just going to take a lip balm to moisturise my lips before applying lipstick. So I'm going to be taking the Baby Lips Dr. Rescue in Coral Crave, and I'm just putting this on my lips just to moisturise them before I put on my lipstick. You guys will totally leave it at this, I mean go full out and put lipstick on, but for me I just like to have a little bit of wash on my lips, so I'm going to be using Topshop's Saint. So this is just a really pretty nude. Obviously for some people it might wash you out, but for me I personally like it. I like to have nude lips. Some of you are going to comment, oh your lips are dry, etc, etc, or your lips are too pale or whatever, but this is just how I like to have them, so yeah. So that is what I do, and then what I like to do is I like to line my lips so that the colour doesn't move, and I use the Studio Secrets by L'Oreal. It's in number 30 Coral, and I just apply it to the bottom area, and then I concentrate on the corners of my lips so it doesn't look a bit odd. So that is all I do in terms of my lips. So this is all I do in terms of my makeup. I hope you did enjoy this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to be notified when I post. And yeah, so I will see you guys next time. I will see you guys soon. Bye!